Hey y'all, Rob the American here. All right folks, surprise, surprise, we are back in London, this time for a watch extravaganza. I've been invited to a couple of things. First, our pals at Time and Tide are having something, and also our new pals at the limited edition are having a function for the watch brand L.Leroy. So we're going to check that out. In the meantime, we're going down to Bond Street, see what kind of watch trouble we can get into down there. Dragging y'all with me, stick around. While walking up Bond Street, we had a look at the outside of the almost finished A. Lange & Söhne boutique. We can't wait to get in there. Then it was into Burlington Arcade to see our good pals at Maunder to see what they had cooking, and they had a few nice pieces for us. First up is this spectacular 2024 limited edition Jaeger-LeCoultre JLC Reverso Tribute Chronograph. The front pink gold dial is laser engraved with fine horizontal lines spanning its width. The back dial features a pink gold open work chronograph with hand beveled edges and vertical Côte de Genève decoration. Absolutely stunning. Have a look at this 1993 Audemars Piguet Perpetual Calendar, 36mm rose gold. It was a limited edition run of only 362 pieces. So beautiful. And this is for sure a wow. This is the JLC Duometer Quantième Lunaire 200 Limited from 2014. It's a white gold 42mm case. Look at the action on that dial. I could stare at this for hours. In my recent Manchester watch prowling video, I got to see some really great Blancpain 50 Fathoms watches at the Watches of Switzerland. So I figured this time we'd go into the Blancpain Boutique on Bond Street, see what we could dig up, and we found this really stunning Blancpain L.Leroy Quantième Complete. It's a 40mm red gold case, brown gold dial, beautiful moon phase, so classy, so elegant. This is a wow.
All right, folks, y'all know what's behind me. It's Time and Tide. First floor, second floor for the Americans. Let's go up and see what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here at Time and Tide with my very special guest, Mr. James Dowling. Can I have a round of applause for Mr. Rolex? The purpose of tonight's gathering, conversation, is to talk about a book that I must say is a much needed addition to, I suppose, the library of books that continue to be written about Rolex. So before I get into my thoughts about this book, James, what is it about this brand that has you identifying with it so strongly that you not only wrote a book that big and long, but you also are Mr. Rolex on Instagram? That's committed.
Well, I was Mr. Rolex before Instagram was even somebody's brainchild. I got the name about 35 years ago at a National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors convention in Orlando, when one Italian dealer came up to me and asked me if I'd look at a vintage piece and tell him if it was right or not. And another Italian dealer who was standing next to him looking at a couple of my watches at that moment asked him and said, well, does this guy really know what he's talking about? And the first Italian turned to him and said, this is Mr. Rolex. And a friend of
In
mine
an Italian accent, that would sound very cool.
A friend of mine was sitting next to me, and he, from that moment on, called me that, and it kind of took off from there.
And back to my question, what is it about Rolex? I mean, it goes without saying in some ways, and I think the brand has such incredible primacy in watches that it's almost seems like a dumb question. But what if you were to describe to someone in the span of time that a lift goes up and down, what do you say about why you are so passionate about Rolex?
I got suckered into it because I like discovering things, and Rolex was the hardest thing to discover. So it took me a lot of time to learn, and so I got sucked in by the fact that it was certainly 40 years ago when I started messing about with watches. It was the most difficult thing to discover. I mean, I started asking people, like, who owns Rolex? And people would say, oh, it's owned by the Vatican. People would say it's owned by the mafia. Because it was such a private company that it was difficult to know. Now we know a lot more. Now information is out there. But when I started, it was really difficult. And so I took the challenge.
After hearing from James Dowling, before we left Time and Tide, we had a quick cheeky look at both Dennison and at Christopher Ward. I'm really a big fan of the Christopher Ward, the 12660. I think it's super sharp. Then we walked over to the Lansdowne Club for the event held by our good friends at the limited edition.
2 minutes just to illustrate what's happening tonight. Some faces are used to our events, and we are ever so grateful to see the familiar faces. We are also very happy to see the new faces around. This is a club of horological lovers, passionate people. So we basically what we do is talk about nice watches, talk about nice stories, and we make an effort to present to you some of the hidden gems. Every 6 weeks for the familiar faces, we bring a gem watchmaker. Today is no exception, as we are actually gifted with the presence of my friend Hugo. Hugo and I have been knowing each other for a long time, and Hugo has been entrusted with the incredibly great job of
great challenge.
Yes, to revamp one of the most important names in watchmaking in general, and I'm not exaggerating. Leroy, as a name, is on the par with the most important watchmakers. You can name John Arnold, Breguet, any of those watchmakers, with a rich history in France, of course, being a French-based watchmaker, but also a great connection with London. No? So,
right, yeah.
Hugo is the general manager. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions just to put Leroy into context, and then I'm going to explain quickly what is happening with the second station. So Hugo, you inherited again a big name.
Yes.
Just to mention a few facts, Leroy was the only French watchmaker that was entrusted by Queen Victoria as the official watchmaker of the court at the time. Leroy held the record for the most complicated timepiece for over 80 years. After the exhibition in Paris, the Universal Exhibition in Paris, 27 different complications in one single watch.
Correct.
And then, like it happened with Breguet, the brand disappeared. What does it take to take a name like this and bring it back to the life?
First of all, it's a lot of passion, because before to relaunch the brand, our owner, Miguel Rodriguez, which is just a Spanish entrepreneur, really involved in the watch business in several segments, but also in the industrial part, especially in Switzerland, because he owns several movement manufacturers. So it's more than making a marketing revamp. He made acquisition of historical timepieces, so we have more than 200 historical timepieces, so pocket watches, marine watches, table clocks. The first wrist watches produced by L.Leroy at that time as well.
And make yourself at home, enjoy, and we'll see you in the rest of the night. Thank you.
The folks at the limited edition also brought some additional watches from some of the other brands that they also carry, which can be found on their website. This is a very cool watch from the Swiss brand Zeitwinkel. This beauty is from the German brand Ophion, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. That's O-P-H-I-O-N. Very sharp. This is the Behrens 11G Purple Carbon. This is from the German brand Kudoke, and this is their K5. This features a 38mm stainless steel case with a unique 24-hour rotating celestial disc as its primary time display, replacing traditional hour and minute hands. It's a wow.
All right, y'all, that's going to be it for me today. I'm actually staying in London, so I don't have a train to catch. Hallelujah. But we do have some thank yous. First to our friends at Time and Tide for inviting us to their Rolex event. That was super cool. It was a shame we had to leave so early to get to this event, which was well worth it. We have to thank our new friends at the limited edition and I know I was telling L.Leroy, but it's L.Leroy. More or less, so be sure and check those out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below what you see today that was interesting. And my Instagram is Rob the American. That's Rob_the_American. Follow that. And I'm wearing myself out. And join me again for some more watch talk. Y'all take good care.